How are you guys doing? Welcome back to another video. Today we are talking about TruePNL. The TruePNL Launchpad is very basic and very simple to understand, but we're talking about money. Alright, so we gotta do a thorough review, of course, to see if TruePNL does in fact have a good investment opportunity for us, if we can actually make money using this launchpad, and of course if it is reliable, with also a step-for-step guide on how to participate in the launches, how to participate in the IGOs, how to complete the KYC process, and much more. So if that is something that interests you, please make sure to stick around and stay tuned. See you in a bit. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me again. It is very much appreciated, as always. And today, before we get started with all of the information, and of course, at the end, also my personal price prediction, we have an announcement first, a question from me. Please minimize the screen, like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I do Launchpad reviews every single day, so if you enjoy that, make sure to do that. And also note down that I am no financial advisor and always perform your own due diligence. All right, with that out of the way, let's get started. TruePNL. You guys, I already said it in the intro, it's a very basic, a very simple launchpad, and I like that. Now, let's get started right away with the tiered system, because I always do my own rhythm. I always start with the tiered system. If you want something else to know first, use the timestamps down below. We're going to get started with the tiered system. So the tiered system, it's not really existent here in TruePNL. All you need to do is make an account on the site, connect your wallet, buy tokens, and stake them. You will then get the token called PNLG. And with PNLG, you will already have a guaranteed allocation. And depending on how much PNLG you invest in a project, you will get a bigger allocation. So that is literally how simple it is. And you won't really have to dig much deeper into it. It used to be that you needed like 10,000 PNLG at least. This all seems to be outdated, as a latest article actually states. I believe it was somewhere around here, I'm not sure, but a latest, very recent article stated that it's no longer required to participate, but things change around a lot with PNL. So if maybe, things have changed back again, here, for instance, you see the minimum number of PNLG is 3,000. In other articles, it said that, it's no longer needed. Check it out. On their Medium, it will have the most recent updates. As for now, the latest article that I saw, no longer a minimum requirement. So that makes TruePNL actually very cheap to get into and very accessible to a lot of people, and not just the ones with a lot of money. So that is very nice, and it really helps out if you maybe are an earlier investor, especially also because it's a very beginner-friendly launchpad. So enough about the tiered system, let's talk about the projects. Right? At the end of the day, the projects is what makes a launchpad a launchpad. It is the crowd in crowdfunding. And if the launches are good and frequent, then automatically there will be a lot of utility to the token and thus a successful launchpad. So looking at the current active pools, I was very, very surprised, and in a good way. We see, let's see, 3, 6, we see 7 current live pools, which is amazing. We are in a total and utter bear market, meaning that launchpads are struggling, and most of the launchpad I am reviewing have 1 or even 0 launches at the moment. They have no project going on because, of course, during a bear market, it is much harder for successful projects to find its way to the market. So launchpads don't have that much to launch. Now, TruePNL, since the beginning of time, has had no problem with this. Since 2021, when they started, they have been launching without stop. So that is definitely something that TruePNL has always stood out for, at least to me. They were never caught without a launch. Now, enough about the quantity. Let's actually look at the project to see if the launches also bring good rewards. Starting with Legends of Aria, as there's only 8 days left to join. It is a live public sale, and the goal is set for 75,000, and the allocation size will be between $30 to $2,000. If we click on the pool, we will be brought to a page where we can join the whitelist, but also look at some information about the project. Now, I am very bullish about this project, so I usually don't go too in-depth on the projects on the Launchpad. I will do that with Legends of Aria for a reason. And it's because I feel like it is important to look at this in a little bit more detail to understand the quality of the projects that launch. So here, of course, Legends of Aria, very bullish on this. Why is that? It is because it is a very detailed game, an MMORPG, definitely a AAA crypto game. And if we move over to their Twitter, we can see that they have 38,000 followers with a pretty good overall engagement. I actually reviewed this project earlier. Legends of Aria was already a game. Oh, that's loud. It was already a game, but they now kind of switched it over to the blockchain, and it was already a very successful game to begin with, right? So they just made it Web3 essentially. The original responses for that were very negative, but that was of course because the community that was already there didn't like the changes to the game as much. But of course, the newer audiences coming from blockchain Web3 communities are of course a lot more bullish on this because this is their space. At any rate, it is a very bullish project in my opinion. I'm very excited for that, and it's good to see that it launches over here on TruePNL. The listing price is only 0.035, which is very low, relatively speaking, for a public sale. And again, it is very simple to participate. All you have to do is click on Join Whitelist. And then you have a PNLG pool and a lottery pool. The lottery pool, here it says everyone can join a lottery pool and win a allocation. The amount of allocation is defined randomly between the minimal and maximum amount for specific pools. So this is free to join. When you have an account, you just have to fill in your Twitter name, your Telegram user. You do have to complete KYC as well. And you, I believe, have to do some... so you have to do some social tasks as well, and then you will be able to join the lottery pool, which is completely free to join into. You will obviously only have a chance of winning, and your allocation size will be very small. But as we can see, there are only 114 participants, meaning that your odds of winning are relatively high because there's not that many people that participate in these lotteries. Again, there's still 8 days remaining, so I assume that this will get higher. But even if there's 200, then it still means that your odds of winning are relatively okay. As we look at the PNLG, we can see that that is the guaranteed allocation spot. If you have PNLG, even if it's just one, or if the other articles are still in effect, at least a minimum of 3,000, then you will be able to participate in this. You will get a guaranteed allocation, and the allocation size can go up to 2,000, so much bigger. Then again, if you have a very small amount of PNLG, you will get a small allocation, which could actually be smaller than someone who won the lottery. So it's all about how much PNL do you have staked and how much PNLG did it create for you, and that will make how much you will be able to invest. Very straightforward. So we're going to quickly look at some other projects as well. Then we are going to move over to the Whitepaper and the Tokenomics. Now, why is this important? I'll tell you guys in a bit, but if you're interested in TruePNL, you definitely need to see that as well. As again, you're investing your money, you need to know everything that there is to know about TruePNL. So let's go over there. All right, so there's a bunch of other projects as well, such as Iconic. It's the same stuff. It's a public sale as well with a 75,000 goal. Over here, it's the same thing. RE Water with a 60,000, also a live public sale with 16 days left. Again, just like with every project, you can click on it. You will get some information, and which is very nice actually. You can just read up on the project. You can also read up on the vesting. So as you can see, this will be a 20% unlock at TGE. And then a 0-month cliff followed by 13.3% of the tokens being released monthly. Now the vesting is of course very important, as if you feel like this is a very good project and the price will go up in time, then how much you get for TGE is not very important. But if you're just in it to make a quick buck at launch day, the more you get at TGE, the more profits you will make. Also here, the same thing, you can join in for whitelist. There will be a lottery pool and a PNLG pool. Over here, for some reason, there are much more participants in the lottery pool, which is interesting. And that is just about it. So again, I'm not going to go too far into it, but here you do have all of the information you will need, which is really nice. So again, when you move over to this site, there will be different projects, right? Because it switches around all the time. So just do your own due diligence, look at the projects, see if you like some of the projects, and then you can participate. Okay, moving over, before we move over to the white paper, let's quickly look at the exchanges that the token is on, the token itself, but also the featured projects on TruePNL. We see here a Gravity Zero with a TruePNL price of 0.1. Price at all-time high being 4.45, meaning that there was a 44 ROI, which is basically an all-time high return on investment. So if you bought here on the Launchpad for 0.1 cent, you will then have sold at the all-time high, give or take, you will have gotten a 44x return. There were other big projects with lots of good returns on TruePNL as well. Versus Farm, very successful project here on the TruePNL Launchpad. We see Ridotto with 28x return, Altava with 26, and overall just very, very good returns. We can click on show more and we can see all of these other projects with good returns as well. Also, it's worth noting that the investors are quite small. We only see around 100 investors here. We're only 91 investors. So it's a very small launchpad, which is absolutely no problem whatsoever, right? A small launchpad in some cases even is a good thing. So that is completely fine. Over here it was a lot bigger, a much bigger launch with almost 600. It was a public round and it did a 16x on SoulChicks. And it just keeps going. I mean, these are all good returns. Even a 3x is a very good return, especially during a bear market. I mean, a 2x is still a return. I mean, it's a doubling of your money. So that is still very, very good. They've done mostly public sales, but they've also done vested sales. So yeah, that's a very good track record, of course. I mean, clearly they must have also had projects that did not make returns, but at the end of the day, it is not the responsibility of a launchpad to only bring projects with profits. At the end of the day, it's up to the investor to find the project that he or she thinks are the best and invest in only those, right? All that a launchpad should do is make sure that actual scam projects and dangerous projects never make it to the site, and do at least a little bit of research to find out that, you know, the project will likely perform well, but it's not up to them to make the project a success. Okay, moving over to the token, we can see that it is going for 2 cents, which is actually quite high for a launchpad. More than 5,000 people have it on their wish list and they rank 5,166. If you were to rank them at launchpads, they would actually rank quite high, I believe below the top 50, which is very good. Overall, the token seems to be relatively stable. They do have some weird spikes, but again, this is the 1-day chart. If we move over to the all-time chart, we can see a much different data if it loads. There we go. So as you can see over here, we saw this big peak during the bear market over on 2021, where the token reached all the way as high as 36 cents. So it definitely came a long way from there. It also had another peak over here. And yeah, this was not necessarily a bear market. This was just a quick spike. Not quite sure why that happened. Overall, though, a very slow TGE with most of its value coming later down the line. After that, it's been on a downward trend. But then again, I mean, we're in a bear market. All of the launchpad prices have been going down, and that is just normal, right? It's nothing that the launchpad did per se. The sentiment on CoinMarketCap seems to be quite positive. We can see here, great launch, bullish. I will write again. I already made a purchase for $500 successfully. We are on the winning road. People seem to be very happy with the project. We do have one bearish comment saying run by scammers, can't claim tokens. And then he says that the team dumps PNL. I would have to argue that I disagree with that. If the team was to dump, then we would have seen that around here at TGE. This is not a team who just dumped their tokens. But we will look at the tokenomics to make sure of that. But overall, a very positive outlook on the token. Let's quickly move over to the contract and look at the holders. Again, before you start wondering, why is this important? Why do I need to know this? I want to get started already. Trust me, guys, you want to know everything there is to know about a Launchpad before getting into it, especially because you will become part of this community. You would become part of this set of holders. And it is important to know what the ecosystem is about and who is in it. So, holders 1800, which is a very little, even during a bear market, really indicating that the PNL Launchpad is up and coming and still very small. They are, as we call it, in their infancy. Transfers are also quite small, only 12.5 thousand, which of course is quite normal to have a low amount of transfers for a Launchpad, as you are supposed to just stake your tokens and not touch it anymore. So the transfers happen around once a day-ish. And then the holders, we can see here Gate.io is holding 14% of the tokens. That is an exchange platform. Then over here we have a first, what seems to be independent wallet, although it could be developer wallets as well, hold between 13 and 11%, which is roughly 100,000 each. Then here we have some more contracts, Uniswap holding 4.6% as well. Then this should be the real normal investors. As you can see, there are some whales here holding between $10,000 to $30,000 worth of the token, which is of course a very large amount. Going down, however, we see here that most investors hold at least above about $500 or so, because this will likely give them a decent allocation. There are also much smaller holders. If we move down the list, we can see here that actually the majority of the list is holding less than $200. Of course, even with just $200, you will continuously generate that gas, and with that gas, you will be able to participate. And of course, you will also be able to participate for free in the lottery tier. So it makes sense that there are a lot of people that simply just have smaller amounts. Of course, this is a low entry barrier kind of Launchpad. So you're obviously going to see big investors, but you're also going to see them smaller investors that are here because they have a lower GDP, or because maybe they just got started with crypto. So this was very valuable information. Let's now move on to the white paper and of course the tokenomics. So let's get into that. Such as the team. I am still missing the team. I don't know who they are. We're obviously going to check LinkedIn in a little bit, but it's not in the white paper. And I feel like in a white paper, we should be having all of the information, super comprehensive, everything in one platform. So that is my opinion, of course. Oh man, allergies itching my nose. Anyways, here we see blockchain startups that have already come up with a working product or a solid concept are mostly interested in three things: funding, forming the community, and running project promotional campaigns. Imagine a place where blockchain projects can attract holders, retrieve investments, and find partners starting from zero. TruePNL proudly announces the launch of the native Launchpad platform to make it all come true. All right, so most of the times these introduction letters are just very fluffy, right? They just put these things out there. We're new, we're unique. Let's face it, TruePNL is in many ways not unique. Yes, they don't have a tiered system, but that is just about it. For the rest, they're just like any other Launchpad, and that is fine. I mean, as long as it is a good Launchpad, it doesn't have to be unique. At least that is not what I'm looking for when I look for a Launchpad. They call themselves 100% safe and a fair distribution model. Well, we've heard that before. Start off with a disclaimer and a TruePNL sales guidelines. Not very important for me. The pool's introduction is a bit more interesting. They say we've analyzed today's practices of IDOs and Launchpad launches and found weak points which negatively affect all participants and projects. Of course, these are complicated conditions for obtaining an allocation, which is true. For a lot of Launchpads, the barrier of entry is very high, and the process of getting the allocation is also very difficult and could take a very long time. It's true that TruePNL makes it much easier to participate. Sniper bots, of course, being a big problem. Without a competent protection mechanism, tokens are instantly sold out by bots. So the real investors are forced to buy tokens at inflated prices. Only people behind the bots benefit from this, but they quickly withdraw the funds from the market as they are not interested in further support of the project. So I would have been interested what their solutions to these problems are. They say here, to solve these issues, we have created TruePNL tools. Pools are a blockchain smart contract that guarantee the investors transparent and secure project token allocation. Let's see here. An allocation is an opportunity to buy the project token. Yeah, we know that. So apparently they have made a set of tools to protect investors from whales, centralized token distribution, sniper bots, and complicated conditions. The conditions for obtaining the token, the price, and other technical aspects differ from project to project, but there are three general types of pools on the TruePNL platform. Of course, we have the PNLG pool, the lottery pool, but we also have the vested pool. I didn't really go in depth on that one, right? We talked about the lottery pool, we talked about the PNL pool, but how to actually participate in the vested pool and what is it? We'll quickly go over that as well. Vested pools are a private pre-sale. TruePNL redeems an allocation of the project tokens and allows the community to buy them. That's very interesting. So it is a very early private sale obtained by the TruePNL team, allowing the community to participate in it. So I believe it works the same way. Stake your PNL tokens. By staking, users are able to get substantial amounts of PNLG points. And then, of course, use the PNLG points to participate and partake in the launches. So it's pretty much the same, but of course it's an earlier round, so you will be able to buy the tokens for cheaper, which could potentially give more returns. Although watch out, usually that does come with a lesser unlock for TGE. So if you don't believe in the project and you don't think it would have a longevity, pre-sales actually are more dangerous because you don't get to sell much of your tokens right away. All right, moving on, we see here the token utility. There's not going to be a lot of utility apart from, of course, the Launchpad utility, which is the main utility, and it should be the main utility on a Launchpad. They also do say that they have a payment unit. PNL can be used by means of payment in collateral commission pool and allow users to receive significant discount. PNL can also be used to partake in public sales on the TruePNL Launchpad. Of course, you can stake it for returns on your investment. And they also say on-chain, the TruePNL protocol is going to be built on Web3, utilizing the Polkadot substrate. PNL token is planned to be used in a free production for DeFi products utilizing the TruePNL protocol and liquidity staking in DeFi products. So again, there is some utility apart from participating in the Launchpad. However, it's all quite fluffy, right? There is utility, yes, but you want the token for the Launchpad period, and of course for the staking rewards. Pretty straightforward. Again, we don't have to talk too much about it. It is quite similar to other Launchpads that you guys know. Then the PNL staking, it's all, again, much like other Launchpad. You will get APY, and there are 4 staking periods: 3, 6, 12, or 24 months. Now, how do you actually stake it? To start staking, you need to go to PNL at PancakeSwap, Uniswap, or Gate.io, choose the amount that you would like to stake, and then select a lockup period from 3 to 24 months. You have to log into your account with your MetaMask, and then select the staking period, check the amount of PNLG points that you would like to receive, enter the amount of PNL that you would like to stake, and just like that, it will be done. You can all do it on the site itself. You can do it right here. You can click on stake PNL, and then you can type in, let's say, 500 for 12 months or 24 months. Again, me personally, I would recommend 12 or more months. Why? Because you will get a 200 to 300% boost, and you will get a PNLG rate for minus times 2 or 3. Now, again, this means that if we were to put in 500 and stake it for 3 months, we would get 500 PNLG, and we would only get a 2% with a 0 boost. So 12 or 24 months is definitely just the best way to go. 500 will become 1,000, and otherwise, of course, it will become only 45. Oh, wow, I actually had that wrong. It's not going to stay the same. It's going to go down quite a lot. So yeah, keep that in mind, you guys. It is very important to choose the right staking. Now, 24 months might be a bit much. Of course, that is 2 entire years. So in crypto, there's so much that can happen in 24 months. Me personally, I would go for 12 months, as that seems like just the best way to go about it. But of course, if you want the biggest returns, 24 months is clearly the way to go about it. All right, so that is just about everything on the white paper side of things. We are still going to talk about the allocation and distribution, and then the roadmap. So we're going to go into that next. Stay tuned. So as for the allocation and distribution, we see here, of course, we are talking about the PNL token. You cannot buy the PNLG token. You can only get it by staking. The total supply of PNL is 100 million. Do I say that right? Yes, it's 100 million. The market cap on TGE, it doesn't say actually. They didn't fill that out for some reason. Okay. Then we see here the team is taking 18%. It's a little bit above average. Most teams take around 13 to 15, so 18% is a bit high, but all right. 5% for advisors, okay. 16% marketing, only 4% for the seed sale, and most of it, as you can see, went over to the private sale, which is going for 14%. Then strategic with 5%, public sale only 3.4%, as of course it's only for marketing purposes mainly. Foundation 28%. I wonder what that means. It's a very vague concept, and 28 is quite a lot. I assume that this will mean liquidity for the most part. Right, foundation has to be including liquidity, maybe partners as well, but very vague. Obviously, they do this so that they have more, moving around room. They can kind of make it into whatever because, it's foundation, right? I don't like it when launchpads do that, but it happens a lot. Liquidity pool is 1.50, and then staking is 5%. This is for the staking rewards of the users. Here we see it nice and pretty in a chart. I don't like the chart personally. It's a bit basic. The vesting schedule is a bit more important though. I would have loved to see it outside of a chart, but we can work with the chart as well. So I'm most interested about the team. That is the dark blue. As you can see, they will not start vesting until 11 months or 12 months in. So they will get a 0% TGE and a 12-month lockup. And after that, it looks like a linear vesting over around 2 years. So they give themselves 18%, which is a lot, but they also give themselves, a very long time before they give themselves the tokens, which provides, security that it's not a rug pull. They don't give themselves 100% of TGE and they just dump the tokens and they abandon the project, right? So it's good to see when a team does that, especially when we're looking at a team that grabs a little bit more of the tokens than other teams usually do. So then it is understandable and good to see that they have a long vesting period. As for the others, we see here, for instance, the seed round has a very weird vesting schedule. They get a TGE and it's all linear from there. And the rest all looks pretty normal as well. Of course, feel free to pause the video if you would like to look at the divesting schedule a bit longer. TGE has already happened. If you are interested on how much money you could have made, watch the video on call-in digits. It has a video on TruePNL as well, but then mostly going into how much he particularly made using the Launchpad and participating in the launch of the TruePNL token. Okay, that's all for that. Moving over to the roadmap, we can see here that the project started in Q1 2020, although they started with some basic market research. In Q2, they really got going with customer development, documentation preparation. So preparation was all throughout Q1 and Q2. Q3 and Q4 was all about robo trading and the MVP launch. They really started in Q1 2021 with kickstarting TruePNL. The seed sale was completed, the platform and network development, and the PNL token was designed. So that was a big month, a big quarter. Q2 was the launch, so the robo strategy aggregation framework, robo trading on Binance service release, the DEX listing, the private and the public sales, the PNL staking program launch as well. So Q2 was essentially just the base launch. The entire project went live at that quarter. Q3, connecting FTX, BitMEX, and Binance Spot to the robo trading system, hackathons and portfolio management contest launch, and the CEX listings. Then in Q4, a bit less busy, impact mining implementation, community EFT launch, and more available exchanges for off-chain services. Then there's a gap. Q1 has not been filled in, and Q2, it says Polkadot integration, launching DeFi portfolios on Polkadot substrate. So Q2, we are missing Q1 and Q3, and Q4 has not been planned in yet, which of course is a little bit disappointing. I love to see roadmaps with future projections of what they're going to be doing, and of course where's quarter one? That is quite important, and it just seems to be gone. Were they on vacation or whatever? I don't know, but we cannot get any information on quarter one, which is okay. At any rate, they have been working on this since 2020 already, so it's not actually that new of a launchpad, not anymore at least. So yeah, that is all for the white paper. Again, we are missing the team. We are missing quarter one and quarter four. So that is all that we are missing. However, I'm sure we can find the team over on the LinkedIn. We're going to go over there in just a second. For now, though, we're going to look at the social media. Now, before you're like, okay, I don't really care about that, listen to me, all right? We're basically going to look at the crowd in the funding, right? It's a crowdfunding platform, and what is the most important thing about a crowdfunding platform? It's a crowd. And seeing how big their community is, how positive their community is, where their community is, and what kind of community they have is very important to understand if this is a launchpad that suits our investment goals, and of course to see are they able to fill up their pools and what is their growth possibilities. So you can see a smaller launchpad with 38.8 thousand followers. They joined in May 2020, which makes sense regarding the roadmap. They say here a multi-chain DeFi launchpad, fair allocations in hand-picked crypto projects, vested sales, IDO, and PNL. So they post decently frequently. For comparison, it's now the 9th of August. Their most recent post was here at the 5th of August. It was a giveaway. They also have a post at the 28th of July. So relatively decent posts. However, they don't get a lot of traction. This is a giveaway with only 1 like. And this is a update post with 5 likes. If we click on the tweet, we can see that there are not really any conversations going on. They do have 1 comment. It says, if you guys haven't heard, we launch IO. It seems to just be an advertisement. So not a lot of community interaction, not even on their giveaways. But again, it's a smaller launchpad, so it does make sense. I have seen that on Telegram, they are much more active. They have quite a big Telegram. There's a lot of talking going on. So most of their community must be based in and around the launchpad, the Telegram, And that is definitely where we see most of the activity. The Twitter, not so much, but of course there is always growing potential. And at least they do post actively, showing that the team is still working, and the giveaways is a good sign. They also do have a Medium. Here they post quite a lot of blogs, actually, mostly updates regarding their new launches, but also tutorials and just little updates about the platform, how to participate, etc. We see here the most anticipated update of the year, vested sale reboot, your complete guide to the TruePNL Launchpad. This is actually an article that I quite recommend. It will help you just get started. I mean, any other in-depth questions that I may not have covered, you can find here, such as how to connect your wallet, how to register your account, how to earn PNLG points, etc. Everything is all in here. Very comprehensive 5-minute read. Also here again, a update post, only a 6-minute read, talking again about the staking, the new updates, etc. So I really like it how they do this. They are quite active with the community. The community sentiment is good. They're not that active though on Twitter, at least. Like I said though, on Telegram they are. Also, the community sentiment on CoinMarketCap was very, very bullish overall, and the overall token is performing quite well too, considering the bear market that we are in as of right now. So overall, quite bullish stuff. Now let's get into my personal prediction on the actual price, and of course a quick look at the team behind this project, if we can find that in the first place. So surprise, surprise, we actually have a LinkedIn page. We're seeing 14 employees, and they have almost 180 followers over on LinkedIn. They do actually post here, not as frequently, about once a month, just overall the more like professional type of designs and posts, etc. Let's see if we can see who works here. So it seems to be mostly a Russian company, although we do have people from Rome, Italy, Germany, and Dubai as well. But of course, over here, this is a chief operating officer that is basically the owner. of TruePNL. He is from Russia and of course has been working there since 2020. It is interesting to look at their experience. We can see here he has an education in Penn State University. So despite being Russian, he actually went to school, I believe this is America, and he has already experience as a COO over here in Lucky Exchange. So let's see, this is the CEO. He is also Russian. Let's see, he has also COO, CEO experience and founder experience here at the TG company and also Lucky Exchange. He has a couple of endorsements and of course has been working at TruePNL since 2020. They seem to be fully doxed. They have a LinkedIn, fully doxed team, of course, being very important as that brings more security to the platform, and it is good to be able to look at them real quick. Overall, just a pretty big company, right? There's a lot of people working here, 14 as of right now. So that is all looking pretty solid. All right, guys. So overall, that is all I have to say about TruePNL. They have a strong launchpad where it is very simple to get started with a low barrier of entry. They have a very good track record of projects they have done in the past, and they have basically a seamless pit of projects launching all the time. I am very, very bullish on some of the projects that are about to launch, such as Legends of Aria, but also Iconic and some others. The UX UI is just very, very simple. Of course, there is KYC, which I personally like, but it does prevent USA people from participating, which is unfortunate. The coin is looking very good, and the holders are also, although little, quite, it just looks, there's no red flags, basically. The team is doxed. The white paper, I felt like some things were missing, especially in the roadmap, but overall quite comprehensive, and all the basic information was there. All right, you guys. So again, if you want to see more on TruePNL, in particular, how actually the returns were, go over to Colin Ditch's channel. He has a comprehensive video on that. As for my personal price prediction, I feel like TruePNL has lots of potential with a lot of financial benefit for its users. And I think just like how it peaked over here, it could peak again during the bull run. Over here at its all-time high, it reached around 30 cents. I think it could easily reach up to around 30 cents again when the bull run does finally hit. They have everything they need, a very strong foundation. If they keep going as they are right now and the bull run hits, the price might go insane. So this might be a good time to get into the launchpad and get your tokens cheap and start building up gas. Then again, I'm no financial advisor, and in the end, it's all up to you. All right, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to join our Discord if you haven't already. And then without further ado, have a great day. See you all in the next one. Ciao, ciao.